Hey, it's 7:01 a.m. I'm like 1 minute off the hour. 7:01 a.m. It is August 10th and it is Saturday morning. And of course, I woke up this morning and the first thoughts in my head is always the same stuff. I deal with trauma, like a reoccurring trauma, where like the whole drama of like losing my job and going through this whole nightmare of targeting starts all over again. It's like it starts all over again when the minute I wake up. Okay, so I deal with a lot of mental issues because of the stupid choices of other people. Okay, and I don't want this to be a rant video, but I do want it to like talk about, you know, um, a targeted individual's frustration when it comes to dealing with outside intrusion. Now, I was thinking yesterday about, I made a few videos yesterday. I don't know, maybe one or two. It was more than one, I know that for sure. But anyway, I was talking about, the whole issue of um, uh, me coming to Bakersfield and just trying to, find a decent job and kind of settle down here because of the cost of living. That was it, and not making too much of a big deal. I don't recall like telling people that I was moving or anything like that. I just, I know I didn't have a cool, like a close relationship with the people that I knew. So I just figured, and I always felt really uncomfortable around all these people. So to me, there was no reason for that. So I know that these people were stalking me along with some celebrities and whatever this weird Facebook nightmare, and it's made me very, you know, uh, what's it called? It causes a lot of mental problems because of the targeting and the racial hatred behind it, and of course the fake religious aspect of it. All of the combination of it to me is extremely traumatizing, and it just it causes me a lot of anxiety. And I think this is one of the main reasons why when I was focusing on the Swan Song Manifesto, that was an expression of me how I felt about going back into the workforce. Okay, because I really, truly, deep down in my heart, I do not like really the idea of going back into the workforce. Okay, because I've dealt with so much of the unnecessary drama, the unnecessary targeting, and then dealing with people that were from my past that I made an effort to not have anything to do with being a part of my life, stalking me within the workplace. We had the Collins family trying to enforce their views, their religion on me, which to me I think was one of the most traumatizing things that I dealt with. The issue relating to trying to humble me and try to, in the public manner that they were trying to do at BT Trucking was extremely beyond traumatizing to me because it's like you're carrying over an issue that occurred over at Murray Family Farms to each and every place, making it very obvious that you were targeting me, okay? Which caused me extreme psych. By that time, after, I was already knew I was being targeted, okay? And by that time, after the BT Trucking thing, that was really causing me extreme anxiety, almost to the point of where I was feeling like I was going to throw up every day because they were making their presence very known. Okay, and so after BT Trucking, of course, it's like, okay, well, I just want to try to make money online. And here, the problem with it is that this is why a lot of people have lost faith in the American dream because you try to pick yourself up with some sort of income stream, right? And there's people who can block you. There's people you can get blocked doing these sort of things. Okay, so if you can get blocked, the American dream is obviously bullshit. Okay, I will tell you that right now. Okay, because it's like it's not something that you can just do. If it was something that you can just do, you know, people would be doing it, right? People like things like Patreon and stuff like that can be infiltrated, and it's unfortunate. But anyway, so my thing is that being in situations where people are trying to force me into situations that I do not want to be in, whether that be religion or trying to force me into a lifestyle. Like Terry Collins is jealous of my light. Okay, she has an issue with me being someone. taking care of myself, okay, for whatever reason, okay? She's jealous, okay? I don't need to deal with your jealousy. That's not my problem, okay? And also the fact that, I had said goodbye to this family years ago, okay? Years ago. They showed no interest in, what do you call it, taking on any responsibilities for myself. And I didn't ask them to, and I didn't expect them to. Okay, I literally felt as though, you know what, I don't really mesh with a lot of the people that I knew. And I felt that. I understood that. So I quietly removed myself and tried to start my own life independently from these people. Okay, and they decided to somehow attach themselves. Okay, and then try to enforce their shit on me. Okay, Terry Collins was trying to force me into suicide, is what she was trying to do. Okay, and I was not comfortable with it. I was not comfortable with going into BT trucking and dealing with that nightmare, because it's like, stop trying to sit here and try to do this in a public manner. Leave me alone. Okay? Leave me alone. Okay? Why is it that people see? And I was thinking this morning, okay, the anxiety started getting to me, because it's like, okay, I didn't look for a job on Thursday, like I said I was going to. Okay? I know I want to make sure I do something this weekend, and it's the fact that, you know what, it's causing me extreme anxiety. Okay, because of everything that these people have caused, it's caused me psychological problems, psychological distress. Okay, this is one of the reasons why I wanted very desperately to work online. Okay, so I'm not happy about having to look for a job. Okay, knowing that the job market, I mean, like, things that go on in the workplace are so corrupt, and I just feel like, I think what I wanted to do is I wanted to make this video kind of directed towards, what is it, Capricorn? No, it's not. He's not a Capricorn. He's a Gemini? Or is he, oh God, I can't think of it. June 21st. I have it written down on my card, okay? That is I think it's what is he, either a Cancer or Gemini? I think it's a Cancer. Anyway, whatever. I wanted to address this video to him, really, because you know why? Because I know that somehow or another he has some sort of association with it, and a lot of people might have convinced, because this issue happened, a lot of this took place like on Facebook and whatever. I think that a lot of people wanted to jump in the bandwagon and try to take control of something that they had no right to take control over. Like, Terry Collins, I'm angry and I'm disturbed that this woman would have anything to do with my life at all. Okay, and so today I woke up and I was just angry with my mother. Why? Because I remember talking to her when I was pregnant, and even after I was pregnant, and I told her that I did not want my son to have anything to do with that woman. That's exactly what I said. I do not want my son to have anything to do with that family. But I also understood that, if they wanted to see him, I'm not going to create a ruckus. That's fine. But I don't want it. I never initiated it. I did not initiate it, okay? And, I didn't marry Bruce for a reason. My son's name is Gordon for a reason, okay? And I feel like some people just, like, impeded or just, like, trampled over my right. My mom is not my mother is not my biological mother, but she felt as though after I was over the age of 18 that she was going to make certain decisions for me. Okay, and she did this out of spite, possibly. Okay, I am angry that the Collins had anything to do with my life. And I'm beyond angry that they had anything to do with any part of my life. And the anger that the white, what I call it, white supremacy, that they were basically flaunting, and to me showing their demonic selves. I felt from Jennifer, the energy that I got from her was like she wanted to badger me, number one, about her religion. And then she felt as though I need to justify. I don't have to justify a goddamn thing to you. Not a goddamn thing. I don't need to talk about my belief. I don't have any deep, dark political beliefs, okay? I really don't. And it should be obvious to anyone that I don't, okay? I'm not somebody who sits here and plots against people, but I will tell you that if I did, I would have every right to. I have no reason in my life to consider white people's feelings whatsoever. I have no reason to, Okay? But yet I do not have that sort of animosity that I should have. I'm just somebody who wants to finish out the rest of my life in fucking peace. Okay? And that's all I've been doing for the entire time. Okay? And I don't adhere to your Jehovah's Witness standards. I don't want to have anything to do with that sort of stuff. And, yesterday, when I made that video, I'm sorry, but, just, I'm apologizing to some of the viewers that are watching this, because I'm backtracking a lot. I feel very disturbed by all of it. All of it. Especially when I did that reading and I came to understand that the whole cloning thing and how I originated and how I started putting things together, like how my grandmother became a Jehovah's Witness, and then among all of it, to me, it's like, you guys don't see it from my perspective, okay? Because you know why? The Watchtower Tract Society is very closed in on, it's a cult in a way, okay? Some people, they'll argue and say it's not a cult, but I will say there's a lot of that mentality. Okay, because number one, Jehovah's Witnesses are only allowed to read their own material. They only associate with people that are Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, that makes sense to a certain extent. But when you think about it in terms of mind control, this limits people's ability to gain access to other forms of information. Okay, so they live in their little world, their little hermetically sealed world, right, of their little beliefs and stuff like that. And they have a right to do that. Okay, but you don't enforce your beliefs on me, especially after I made an effort to walk away. I wanted to walk away. You know what I mean? And then I feel angry that these people were just sitting here thinking that it was okay to toy with my life for the fuck of it. Just because they felt like because they could. Because they wanted to exercise their white supremacy. To me, to sit there and rub that in my face, bitch, you're just bragging about your demonic shit. Okay? You're bragging that you're a fucking goddamn demon. That's exactly what you are. Aligned with your demiurge. Okay? I want nothing to do with that. Okay? And so I wake up in the morning traumatized, wondering, okay, am I going to have to sit here and deal with a weird employer? Do I have to I just want my life to be fucking normal. These years right here, to me, I'm trying to live out my golden years the way that I need to. Okay, when I walked away from the people in the Antelope Valley, I did so for a reason, and I did so in peace. I didn't need these kids from a high school coming around causing problems for me. Their one-sided beliefs because they hated my father. Because that's the only reason why they would attack me. That is the only reason why they would, because they know good and well I don't have a beef with these people. Some of these people I haven't even spoken to in years. Since high school. Okay, so what could their beef possibly be? All because they're racist, right? Okay, well, you just participated in something you shouldn't have participated in, okay? So what I was wanting to talk to, let me look at this person's thing, just because I want to be accurate. It's early this morning, and I am trying to get my information straight. Let's see here. I write all these people's names down and their birthdays, and I refer to them by their birthday because I'm trying to be as anonymous as I possibly can. But I don't remember dates offhand, so let me just run through these really quick. I think it's June 21st to be exact. But yes, Cancer 21. I always refer to you as Cancer 21. Okay? You know you are. But anyway. The reason why I'm trying to address you in this is because I feel as though your energy has something to do with this, okay? Now, I don't know everything about the whole cloning thing, and I want to be respectful towards your identity, okay? As much as I can. I know it sounds silly, but still. Anyway. I don't know. I think how this works, or a part of it works, like, okay, if somebody is like a clone and they obviously are going to need some sort of assistance somehow or another, you allow people to have certain jobs or whatever. I do believe that perhaps this is what happened, is that the Collins got behind the wheel. Nobody needs to be behind the wheel. Okay, I am an adult and I should be behind the wheel of my own life. Okay, believe it or not, racial wise or not, I'm an adult. Okay, just look at me as that. I'm an adult. Okay, and what causes me extreme pain and anxiety every goddamn day. I do not rest. Okay, not well, not properly. okay, is my disturbance of people that I used to know thinking that they can creep into my life and have some sort of like connection to me. Okay, I don't have any, do not think that I have anyone in mind that I want to date. You know what I want to do? I want to go to work and I want to come home. I'm 53 years old. Okay, I have maybe a few years left of my life and I want to live out the rest of my life just going to work, coming home, engaging in activities with my son, and then eventually go out one day and take a nap one day in the afternoon and not wake up. That's how I want to go out, hopefully in the sunlight. That's all I want to do. Okay, and I don't want to have to deal with drama of somebody who deep down inside has some sort of sick vendetta against me. Okay, I don't deserve that shit. Okay, I took responsibility for my own child. Okay, and as much as I possibly could. I never asked anybody for anything. Nothing. Okay, and unfortunately, I'm a victim of a program that has tainted everything in my life. You know what I mean? People, because I was James Gordon's daughter, which I will never be ashamed to be his daughter. I'm proud to be his daughter. My father was an intelligent man. He deserved the respect. He deserved respect, and he did not deserve to be treated in the manner that he was. He did not deserve to have people run him down. Okay? He didn't deserve to have people mess with his job, to have people fucking gossip about him, to mistreat him, to ostracize him. He didn't deserve any of that. Okay? But the only reason why people hated him is because he was a black man. And some people told him to because they thought that he was, my father did not join the Christian church, but he was not in any way anti-Christian. He himself just realized, okay, he obviously was putting two and two together. My life is screwed up. Let's get to the root of the problem. The root of the problem is that this is the whole thing. Now, how we came into existence caused us nothing but fucking problems. Okay, we are obviously people who obviously see the bad side of this. Okay, now I don't, because of how this whole thing originated, how the whole thing started. Okay, I don't believe in the origins of this. Okay, I'm not comfortable with the origins of this. Apparently, my father was not, and he never told me what was going on, why he felt this way. He probably was under some sort of oath or whatever at the time that he couldn't say anything. Okay, and of course, when my father was able to think correctly, because my father had an Alzheimer's related disease, okay, which made it very difficult for him at a certain age to really communicate what he wanted to say. Okay, but the things that he and I would talk about, he never let me know any of this. I remember him telling me that I was special one time. He told me that I was a chosen golden one. And Miriam telling me that, and I just thought, oh, that's sweet, Daddy, thank you. Okay, but I didn't really know what that meant. But now I'm starting to think, and he also showed me this book one time, okay, and the book was like a little blue book, and I had like a little sun's face on it, and it looked like, you know what it kind of looked like when I think about it? It kind of looked like some Masonic stuff, okay, and he was pointing to it, he was reading a section out of it to me, and you know what I remember thinking? Many years after he died, I want to go find that book. And I looked and I scoured in his top dresser drawer, and I could not find it. I think my family took that book because they wanted to make sure that I never saw that again. Okay, that's all I remember. Okay, my father never told me that he was King Tut. He never told. My family might have known. Okay, and I never realized that. I'm just now putting it together that my father, how he, was working in the workforce, and his reputation and the energy that was surrounding him was very similar to this whole thing about me. Like, I kind of have the same issue. Like, I have a lot of people who feel like, oh, she's black and she's intelligent and we're intimidated. We want to bother her. And the reason why people even know who I am is because people, loose lips, right? If this was supposed to be top secret, people have loose lips, okay? People know who I am. And unfortunately, people have made up some sort of story, like I'm an evil person, I'm the Antichrist. I am not Antichrist. Meaning, like, I'm anti, let me go and tell people, about it, or bash this religion or whatever. I'm bashing it now. because I'm looking at the nightmare that occurred. Look at all this nightmare that happened because of this issue. Now, come on. I mean, any normal person would draw the same conclusion. It's like, okay, you know what? This is a little bit weird. It's weird, okay? So my feeling is that my job looking for work causes me nothing but anxiety. That's it. That's the bare bottom line. Okay, and I'm waking up and I'm talking about it. Okay, and the reason why I'm talking about it because it's therapeutic for me. I do not have any other way of taking care of myself. Okay, like I said, I tried doing something online because I knew the anxiety that I feel is very deep. I have extreme anxiety. Okay, but I need an income. I do not feel comfortable with my son taking care of me. I'm very grateful that he's willing to do that. Okay, and that to me is what family's for. You know what I mean? Knowing that somebody has your back, that's nice. Okay, but at the same time, I want to be a self-sufficient person. I need to be a self-sufficient person, okay? And unfortunately, when you throw religion into it, and you have these people that coming out of the woodwork that I am not, like the people that I used to know, I would go to work and then I'd have people saying things or trying to, give me hints or trying to say things that happened in my life a long time ago. Like, for example, somebody mentioned an old phrase that I used to use, and I don't know, I don't want people making their presence known. I don't want to be stalked anymore in the workplace. Okay, it's too much. It's too much. Okay, especially from people that to me are nothing but threatening to me. Okay, it is what it is. I have the right to have my little enjoyments in life, and I have very few. I have very few enjoyments. Some people think, oh, Maria, she just sits there. And I don't know why people seem to think that I have so many luxuries. I get so much shit from the dollar store, it's not even funny. Okay? I was one of those people who was emotionally attached to the 99-cent store. Okay? And I used to love going to thrift stores. And I like making a lot of things by hand. Okay? I try to make my world as nice as I possibly can because you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, I fucking hate life. I hate it. I used to like going to work, and now when I chiseled down what the workplace is, it became fucking disgusting to me. Why? Because of the political drama and people coming into shit. And it's like, everything that, is good, it becomes like a turd in the punch bowl because it becomes defiled by greedy people, competitive people, jealous people, and people that I said goodbye to a long time ago. That's what makes it so disgusting. It's like, leave me the fuck alone. Okay? And so I say these things, and it's like, what bothers me is like people just don't take it seriously. It's like, take it seriously. And then they try to bully me and try to humble me because it's like, well, if you're looking nice, well, then that means you must. Well, I don't. Okay? Me and my little my love of clothes, that gives me comfort. You know why? Because in a world that I fucking hate, that's one thing I love. And I try very hard to hang on to the things I love. And when they're sitting here doing this sort of bullying to me, she was trying to force me into suicide. Plain and fucking goddamn simple. Plain and simple. Period. You're trying to mess with things that are that important. I don't care about your religion. I'm going to be straight up and tell you. I don't care about your religion. I care about my lifestyle, and I care about the things I care about. Period. Okay? It might be small to you, but it's fucking goddamn everything to me. My stuffed animals are important to me. My sewing is important to me. My arts and crafts are important to me. My fucking clothes are important to me. Fucking talking about my hair to me is racist as hell. And it's fucking, I can't believe somebody would do that. I cannot believe that somebody would make an issue of something like that. Make a public issue out of something that private. That's private. Okay? You don't tell people stuff like that. Like, it's one thing to say, like, for example, I told people that I was wearing a wig. Like, I never tried to, like, pass it off as my own hair or whatever. I mean, I remember telling people that I was working at, that this is a wig. Okay? But when you sit here and try to sit here and, like, put people on public display, you are harassing me. It's harassment. Okay, and you think it's not fucking okay. And I'd be damned if I'm going to sit here and be harassed by people that I walked away from a long time ago. I said no, I did not want to be married to these people. I didn't want to have any sort of association. Fuck these fucking people. Okay, and bringing in your religion to it. I don't fucking care about your religion. I don't want any part of it. That is not me flipping the bird and saying Jesus is bad. I'm not saying Jesus is bad. I'm saying your weird religion is bad, and I want nothing to do with it. And I try very hard to separate Jesus from this madness that that invades people's minds. Okay, I try to. Okay, and I am not. That's not me saying that. Oh, I'm a Christian. I'm not. I respect people's belief systems. Okay, and I also understand that people have the right to have their own belief system. Okay, they do. They have the right to have their own belief, and it makes sense. You know what I mean? Just because a person might be, like, for example, a Catholic, they might still have a view of God that might be different. It's unique to each person. You know what I mean? Some people look at God as like this. You know, when I think about God, I cannot put a face on God. So it's like, I don't know. It's like I just think of something like shiny, bright, and like powerful, and I can't even comprehend it or even explain it, articulate it, because it's like, it's not even it. It's, I don't know. You know what I mean? All I know is sacred beyond. Okay, it's sacred beyond. How about that? Okay, no way I can describe the power, the essence, whatever. Okay, but anyway, I had to talk about this because, you know, it becomes an issue of where it has made it very difficult for me to be able to function. It is very difficult for me to be able to feel like I have any sort of anything to look forward to in my life. Okay, it has limited my life. It has literally, the quality of my life has been reduced to like literally nothing. Okay, I have no job. I am not able to pay for my bills. You know what I mean? And then I have to deal with the stress of trying to look for a job after dealing with what I consider to be a fucking nightmare. Okay? With people that and I'm serious, like when I say this, I mean it. I don't want people thinking that they have some sort of right over me. They don't fucking have any right over me. I don't want anything to do with the Collins family. Okay? I don't want anything to do with the people that I used to do it in high school or anything. I don't want people thinking that they can attach themselves to me. This is making the workforce a goddamn nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. You know what I mean? It's something I fucking dread all the time. You know what I mean? I have the right to request that I live out the rest of my life in some sort of peaceful manner, you know, because I don't want to have to deal with this anymore. You know what I mean? And it's like, today's going to go die. Am I really going to look for a job? I don't know. Okay, and the thing is, it's like, I know I need to, and I'm not the kind of person who avoids that sort of thing. I've always been a person who's been extremely responsible when it came to that sort of stuff, but I was traumatized over and over again by their foolishness. Okay, and now finding out the whole religion thing is too much. It's just too much, you know. So, is there anything else I want to talk about before I wrap this video up? Oh, you know, I did get a intuitive message about what's going on over there in the UK. Now, I am somebody, when any sort of event that goes on, I am pretty much the last person to know about. I know that sounds terrible, but I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news. I pretty much just like stay in my own little world. And if I see something that flashes on my what do you call it? My Outlook page, like when I go get my email, which I rarely retrieve my email. You know why? Because this issue has caused so much trauma that I rarely check my emails. I don't check my emails. You know why? Because I've dealt with fake job ads. I've dealt with the bullying, and all that does is remind me that, you know, I was religiously targeted. And it was like, to me, when I look at that, it's like, okay, well, you be a part of a religion or you can kill yourself. That's exactly the message that I get every time I go online. So I don't check my email, and I don't do any of that sort of stuff very much, okay, because of the dumb choices of other people. So when I do see like news articles, which in this case I saw one like 2 days ago, something about these racial UK, the racial drama. I got a message this morning that has something to do, indirectly, I would say, with what's going on in my life. Like, because people have made me a public issue, like some of the celebrities were like highlighting me and, abusing me, exploiting me, somehow or another, I feel as though that there's some sort of connection between this issue and what's going on over there in the UK. And all I can say is that I certainly never put myself out there to have this issue or cause this issue. The point is that people were what do you call it, disrespecting me to the point of where they were like, had my house under surveillance. I was being monitored at work. And so this whole thing kind of like backfired on them, is what happened. Okay, this whole thing backfired on them. Because like I said, I certainly would have never done that. I was somebody who tried to be very low key about everything. You know what I mean? I moved here, didn't make any big issue when I came down here. I just moved down here, tried to find a little job. I wanted to, kind of settle here, find cheap rent, have my son be raised, him, have a normal life, whatever normal is to him, and grow old and die. That was pretty much the plan. That was the only plan, okay, that I had. And then I started dealing with, outside intrusion, feeling, the whole stalking thing, all of that all that nightmare. And so, I certainly don't ever recall, communicating or going out of my way to communicate with any celebrities during the time period when all of this happened. Like this whole big boom had something to do with the Facebook thing. Okay, now I have never communicated with any of those celebrities that I know of, unless of course they were like incognito or trying to pretend that they were talking. Because I do remember talking to somebody online back in 2007. Okay, and I do remember that they had like this. I don't remember their screen name or their Facebook username, but they did have something to do with like an American flag type. What do you call it? You know how you have like an icon for Facebook? It was like an American flag thing. Okay, and that was the only thing I remember. Nothing made me think that this person was a celebrity or anything, but I'm starting to think, okay, it's something small, and I only spoke to this person for maybe like a day or two, okay, but I'm starting to think that perhaps maybe this person was actually a celebrity pretending to be somebody or something. I don't know. Anyway, maybe that's even kind of irrelevant at this point. All I'm trying to say is that I have never, even though I've had like, what do you call it, my interest in certain musicians, okay? I don't ever recall like communicating with them on social media, trying to follow them, sending them. I've never made any sort of celebrity community contact, okay? But what I do believe happened is that maybe people in England, right? I may have had like a small cult following to a certain degree, whether these people were my fans or not. Some of these people seemed like they were just downright demonic and hateful towards me. But anyway, but still, I might be a legend, okay, in England because of my me being Prince Alame, who made his way over to the United States. Okay, so I might have been a point of intrigue to people who are celebrities, and celebrities may have been involved in my Facebook, saw me on Facebook, communicating with people who knew me, or the people that I was friends with on Facebook or whatever, something along those lines. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. Okay, I could do readings on it to get like for sure, but this somehow or another the connection between the celebrities and me, my world, and I do know that the Collins family had some sort of connection with celebrities at one time. Okay, because I think their dad or something used to have like new screen setups or something. I don't know the whole thing, okay? I don't remember exactly what he did, but I could have sworn he had something to do with like Star Wars and stuff like that, if I remember correctly. Okay, so there's a good possibility that these celebrities could have been connected through that family or whatever. I don't know, okay? But whatever the case is, they caused me nothing but drama, okay? They also showed that they fucking hated my ass because of racial reasons, okay? And they probably were siding with Bruce's family, but they didn't know the entire story. The entire story was that Bruce and I were a couple, okay, and obviously we were a young couple at the time, and there were times where Bruce used to do things that puzzled me, right? Because obviously Bruce was just a guy who was interested in dating a girl and got what he wanted from her, and that was it, right? And it puzzled me, Because I was like, well, I thought, you cared, the whole, I thought you cared about me. And the girl finds out, no, dude, he just wanted to get laid. That's all he really fucking wanted to do, okay? And I understand that that's what people do. They were young. We were young kids. Well, that was it, okay? So he really wasn't into that. And I was a young girl, and I was like, all heartbroken and trying to figure out, what did I didn't do anything wrong. It was just, that's just young people, okay? So I realized, we cannot be married. It's not going to work. I get it, okay? And I remember after, seeing Bruce every once in a while, you know what I mean, when he was really little. And then I do remember one time he was starting to date somebody else. He was a very young girl. So he obviously moved on, okay? And throughout the years, I have moved on. And I've never thought about Bruce. You know what I mean? I knew he got married many years ago. I think back in 2007, right? That was it. You know what I mean? I never sat here and tried to, get him back or anything. Okay, so let's go back to the whole celebrity thing. The celebrities were, like Libra 14. Obviously these people had, these deep-seated hatred towards me just because of my race. And I keep forgetting, James Court and Calvin Gordon. My father, died with a bad rap, and I don't think that was obviously not fair. Okay, but see, white people make a racial issue out of everything. Okay, and the very fact that my father was intelligent, and the very fact that he did not need to have as much, what do you call it? I guess schooling. I mean, my father did most of his what do you call it? Training. He did go to the Antelope Valley College. And he also took courses, I think they called it NRI. That was absolutely, it was one of those correspondence courses. Anyway, but so, when it comes to people who are intelligent, it causes a lot of competition with white people. And we're not asking for competition. We're just simply trying to just put a roof over our head. It is really that simple. It has nothing to do, we're not trying to rub it in your face. We're just trying to exist, period. And white people always think that, people want some sort of prominence, or they want to, if I had the ability to, Cancer 21, I would move out to the country and live in a rural area, okay? Because I'm not going to sit here and try to move in or try to assimilate with white people. I'm fine with that. Really, I am. If you don't want me living in Florida, that's cool, fine. I would love to live out in the country. Meaning out in some rural area or whatever where I don't have to deal with people. My father had the same idea. That's exactly what he wanted to do. You know what I mean? We just want to live in peace. We're trying to live out the rest of our life in peace. Okay, we didn't ask for this drama. But unfortunately, the drama was already known. Why? Because there's leaks. People were talking. People were saying things. People were doing things outside of the regular protocol that we should have had more protection for who we were. But we didn't. Okay? And I'm just now starting to realize, okay, who was James Gordon? When I was a little girl, he was nothing but my father. That was my father. I didn't know that he was King Tut and that, he was some clone and that people were highly focused on. I had no idea. But now it's so funny, I've been thinking about certain things that has happened throughout the years. You know what I mean? And things that, TV shows, and I mentioned the whole thing with Steve Martin and all this stuff that happened when I was a kid, stuff is starting to pour back into my brain. And it's put this together. Okay, wait a second. I'm getting it. Okay. I was racially attacked. Okay. You're talking about my hair. Okay. Everybody knows. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, Cancer 21. Okay. When it comes to black women, this is who we are. Okay. Not saying that we're all like this. I'm just saying is we have our issues with our hair, and it's private. It's you don't sit here and expose and throw that shit. And somebody who does that sort of stuff shows no regard for another human being. Okay? The Collins obviously had no regard for who I was as a person. They've always been this way. Carrie's always been very, we would call it, opinionated about who she thinks what black people should be goddamn doing. She's been that way. And you know what? This is something I remember her talking about when I was dating Bruce. And I remember I kept thinking, do I want my son confused? Do I want my son exposed to this? No, I do not. I made a conscious decision not to marry into that family. So what does this wicked bitch do? She comes at me and tries to force me into her shit. Get the fuck away from me. And see, this is the reason why I'm dealing with this sort of trauma, because you do things to try to let people understand, look, okay, fine, I don't need to be married to you. I don't want to be married to you. I don't want anything to do with it. Okay, let me be on my own. And then this bitch jumps in here and starts trying to tell me how to live my life. Fuck you. Okay? And this is what's causing me trauma. You know what's causing me trauma? Because an employer would actually think that that's okay. Okay? And then I'm having to deal with their drama and their bullshit and their psychological harassment in my workplace, tying it into my life. Now, I'm 53 years old. My entire life has basically been just wasted, plowed over, okay, by a bunch of evil fucking people. Sorry to use the F-bomb, okay? I'm trying to be respectful, okay? It's Saturday morning, okay? So just to get the feel of this, pretend that you and I are having a cup of coffee and we're exchanging crumpets. How about that? So anyway, make it like a casual setting, okay? Like we're pretending we're talking on this Saturday morning. Now, see, the thing is, I'm being silly too. I'm trying to interject humor into this. But anyway, my feeling is that, you know, it's like, I cannot tell you the ridiculous things that I've had to deal with. And I'm not just talking for myself when I'm talking about this. I'm talking about the things that other targeted individuals have to deal with people like, when I say family, I'm talking about, you know, sometimes people's mothers get involved in this. And in this case, you know, I know my so-called adoptive mother, and I have such conflicting feelings about her, right? Because on one hand, I look at her as somebody who is just so pathetically ignorant. You know, and I also, I can't help but sometimes think with some sort of kingdom spouse arrangement with her and my dad. Because, you know, when you think about incompatibility, I don't know how in the world he married her. I don't know. I mean, was he just, because my mother was a good looker when she was younger. Okay, she was a very nice looking woman, beautiful woman, actually. So what made him marry her? That's what I'm trying to understand. I don't get it. Because my father was a very level-headed person, very logical. What was the appeal? You know what I mean? She seemed like a nice person in her love letters to my father when she was younger. She seemed like she was just filled with energy and dreams and happiness and great expectations. But, you know, like I said, the years can get into a person's life and they can become bitter. And she became something I don't even know. Okay? But she did seem like she wasn't very knowledgeable. She's the kind of person that goes along with the crowd. She didn't think very much. And I will tell you, I resent the fact that she didn't listen to what I told her. Okay. Now, what bothered me about growing up in that family, yeah, you know what? I was a goofy girl. And I still like to be silly. Why should I sit here and have to absorb the full impact of hell? Why do I have to sit here and think about every negative thing and let it just suck me dry? You know, I need to tell a joke every once in a while, okay? It can't be that bleak, okay? I've always been that way. I've always been, you know, trying to tell a joke, you know, keep myself happy. I you know, always used to make jokes till I cried sometimes. You know what I mean? And tell people the jokes, knowing good and well they weren't funny, so that I can get a reaction, so that I can think it's even more funny. Okay? Yeah, I do have that side to me, right? And I think this is the side of myself that people felt comfortable with, because when they see me, who I really am, they feel threatened by it. They're like, whoa. I mean, and the reason why they're like, whoa, because you put me in this situation to where I can't sit here and hide my serious side. See, my serious side used to be very well concealed, only for times where I was by myself. Okay, and if I was in a position where I can talk to have a decent conversation with somebody. And most of the time when I did have a decent conversation with somebody, they were way older than me. Way older than me. Right? Because, you know, most of the kids my age didn't like having conversations with me, because they would always say, you're weird. Or, you know, that's just, you know, or like you act older than your age. You know what I mean? And it's like, you deal with people who always want to put you in that box. Okay, but now it got to the point where I had to come out of the box, because it was just getting outright scary. And I realized that, you know, I had to speak up. You know, I had to speak up. Anyway, what else did I want to say? I'm sorry that there's issues going on over there in the UK. Hopefully, all that stuff will get straightened out. You know what I mean? I don't know how it's going to get straightened out. All I'm saying is that somehow, in some way, I feel as though it had something to do with this issue. In some way. Okay, and I'm not reading too deeply into it. I don't want to read too deeply into it. I'm sad that people have to have arguments and there's so much tension in this world. Okay, the other message I got relating to this is that, yes, I am an occultist. Okay, and I'm sorry that people thought that that was a threat. You know what I mean? But the thing is, I'm not responsible for, pulling any sort of religious weight for any family member. Like, I grew up in I'm going to call my family, refer to the Gordon family, the household that I grew up in. I'm going to say it was pretty much non-religious. Okay? To me, it seemed non-religious. Why? Because I think, I can tell that there was religious pressure, especially in the 1970s, when we were studying with Jehovah's Witnesses. And then I know after we left the Jehovah's Witness thing, it seems as though, like, back to back, here come the Baptists. They came around, so we started going to that church a little bit. Okay, but my dad never attended. Okay, I think the church freaked him out. Okay, and there's reasons why people choose not to be a part of religion. Okay, there's reasons why. Okay, and my father and me have this feeling, we take it personally, because we've been railroaded by religion so many times, okay, that we don't feel comfortable with it, okay, and, according to, we always believed that we were operating within the law, okay, this is the reason why people like the United States, right, so, we never, what do you call it, we never had religious, instructions, meaning, like, sometimes a parent will counsel their child, and they'll say things like, don't do that because, that's against the law. Okay, that's mainly how our parents disciplined us. It was more so that we had to fear the legal system, the legal system, the repercussions of the legal system, but we weren't raised to fear God. Now, mind you, I grew up fearing God all on my own. I didn't need anybody telling me that I need to do that. Now, I didn't know, what religion I was going to go into, and I did study on, I talked about all that, and quite frankly, I'm bored of hearing myself talk about it. Okay? It seems as though I made the mistake of becoming friends with Amanda, right? And somehow this threw me back into the Jehovah's Witness turmoil. Okay, because like I said, my father left Jehovah's Witnesses back in the 70s. Okay, and then when I met Amanda, right? That's so weird. Because, the night that I'm thinking about this, backtracking. Okay, excuse me as I get off subject a little bit on this video, because, I'm going back in time and thinking, I met Amanda in the 8th grade. And the year before that, I'm thinking about all these occurrences. I remember the year before that, my grandmother passed away. And my father went back to the funeral with my brother. Okay, she was a Jehovah's Witness. And then, and it's funny because Louise must have known that I was the reincarnation of her father. You know what I mean? But I never really spent much time with her. I would talk to her on the phone, but I never really spent. And this is so weird because it's like, it's the whole thing. The whole thing is so bizarre, putting all of this stuff together, and it becomes so traumatizing for me, because I will tell you, Counselor 21, I was aware that clones existed, but I never thought that I was one. Okay? And I'm going to be open about it. I'm not somebody who approves or believes that and I'm not being, don't get me wrong, okay? There's certain things I like about life, okay? But I don't believe in cloning, okay? I don't believe in cloning. And the reason why I don't believe in cloning is because of the dehumanization that takes place when it comes to cloning. You'll see how my ex-family treats me. You see how this entitled bitch, Terry Collins, just comes right in and thinks that she can tell me how to live my life, right? You see what I'm saying? That's the number one thing. Also, the fact that you can be created out of some sort of spawn, out of somebody's cell or something, and not actual sperm, I'm not comfortable with that either. You know what I mean? I'm just not. Okay, I'm being honest here. I'm being honest. Okay, I'm not comfortable with that, the imitation. Okay, because what it is an imitation. Don't get me wrong. Okay, my spirit is 100%. My spirit can go anywhere. It can go into a doll. It can go into a statue. It can go. But see, the thing is, when heavenly bodies want to re-enter into, what do you call it, earthly bodies again. Okay. And so, hey, there was an earthly body. It was one of those things, it was part of that was encouraged. Like, I was encouraged to have King Tut, or be assisting them in some way, and then and the other way around. Like, my father had me cloned and stuff. I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm really not. But this is a nightmare to me. This is a fucking nightmare to me. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a nightmare to me. It's something that it just goes against everything I believe in. I'm going to be honest. It just goes against everything I believe in. And I'm spirit. You know what I mean? I'm a spirit who inhabits his body. And for the little moments of time that I do have, like, when it comes to like the pretty little fabrics that I just chose for my bedding, like, I just changed the bedding on my bedding. I took my comforter off and put on some new sheets, and they're pink and they're blue and they're pretty, and these little things that I love about life, okay? But I don't agree with coming back in a clone body, in a body that's cloned. I don't believe in creation outside of the natural process. That's just how it is. Okay, that's my feeling. Okay, and it's also the fact that, everything that goes along with it, the problems that come along with it, the fake families that come along with it, the people who feel entitled to tell you how to live their life. It's sick. Okay, it's sick. All right. Now, the reason why I came here and made this video in the first place is that, I wanted to express my concern and my fears and my anxieties about having to go back into the workforce because it's what do you call it? I've only known toxic environments. I've only known people who want to break the rules and who think it's okay to get by with this. No, it is not okay. Okay, it is not okay. It is not okay for me to have to sit in a workplace and have people, come around and try to talk to me or say things that are going to trigger me because they think it's funny. I don't want it anymore. Okay? I really don't want it anymore. Any of it. I don't want you to have to feel like there's some weird kingdom spouse, whether that be Bruce or it's, some old 60s star that, really has a racial agenda. I don't want to hear any of that. Okay? The next few years of my life, I just want to make sure that I want to stay as active as I possibly can. I want to make sure that I enjoy my work as much as I possibly can. You know what I mean? Like, literally, I want to go to work and come home. I'm not interested in management positions. I just need a job. That's it. Okay? Now, I don't know how all that works, like, but I don't want any more people thinking that, oh, I'm going to go ahead and get in her way and have an employer thinking it's okay to deal with these people. I'm telling you, there is not one person in my past that I want to have some sort of interaction with, that I want to know that's hanging around me or hoovering, who wants to sit here and relay any messages to me. I don't want to talk to anyone. Okay? Everybody that was in my life, that was a part of my life, okay, was a corrupt person. That means my adoptive family. That means the kids that I used to know from school. Okay? Fucking exactly, we're talking about the Collins, exactly them. I am somebody, I have said it before, and then people minimized it, and they didn't realize just how alone I am. Okay? I'm all alone in this world. And so when, I think about, people, I don't know why somebody would think it was okay for people to get together and start talking about what kind of work I'm going to be doing for my life and trying to plan my life. Okay, I'm like, what? No, I can't deal with that. You know what I mean? People deserve to go to work, feel safe. They deserve to feel safe, and they deserve to feel like, that their job is, they're there for their job. And that's pretty much really all I want to do. You know what I mean? But I also want to work in an environment where I feel comfortable. And this is what people talk about all the time. Like, I go to work, and yeah, I work. I like wearing my own clothes to work. Why? Because people, they used to care or talk about, job satisfaction, working in your comfort level. You got to feel happy in your work environment. You have to feel comfortable in your work environment. Okay? If you don't feel comfortable in your work environment, you're not going to be there very long. You got to feel well adjusted. Okay? Now, I was working at BT Trucking. Number one, I didn't like the industry from the get-go. Okay? The industry from the get-go, don't care. Meaning anything that's going to have any sort of, something to do with any sort of extracurricular activity outside of work, like parties or some sort of social events that you're going to have for the company or whatever, you're not going to be interested in. Why? Because you're going to deal with a bunch of truckers and stuff like that. And that's nothing against truckers, just I don't care about that industry. I don't care about it. So guess what? I'm not really going to want to participate in anything related to the company. Okay? So that was already there. Then number two, you're sitting here trying to make me wear a uniform. Okay? Now, one of the things that makes work tolerable is my work attire. Okay? That's what I like. I love work attire. I love the slacks. Do I wear slacks? Or do I wear a skirt? Or do I wear a dress? That small little thing that a lot of people think is insignificant can make a world of a difference. It can make a world of difference on how you deal with your job and how you see your job. Now, there's a lot of women who don't care about those sort of things. It doesn't matter to them. It really doesn't matter to them at all. They don't care. Okay? Because they've always been the kind of jeans and t-shirt type person. They've always been somebody who wears sweats and sweatshirts, sweatpants, and athletic type shoes. Okay, they're practical in that respect, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if there is somebody who's a girly girl, if you're a girly girl, okay, and you have to work, I'm old school. I like going shopping for my work attire. I like that. That makes work special. It makes it fun. It makes it something to, it's a part of your work-life balance, or at least try to. You know what I mean? And then some people actually like working and wearing uniforms. You know why? Because they don't have a big wardrobe. They don't want to have to worry about accessorizing or feeling that way. They're just not into that. And there's no right or wrong to that. But you know what? That works out for them. So they are fine with that. You know what I mean? People need to be more balanced in their jobs. You know what I mean? I felt like I was bullied every day at BT Trucking because of somebody doing that to me. I also felt like people were trying to indoctrinate me with this whole idea about, well, if you're really into your career, then this is what you need to do. No, you do not. There are several different kinds of people who work, and that's what diversity is called. You know what I mean? That's why it's called diversity. And I'm not talking about racial diversity. I'm talking about there are people who like to go to work and still wear stockings, even in 2024. Why? Because this is what they are. And it is a part of people's personalities that can be humorous. If they give like a talk or a lesson at work, some people do it in a humorous way. Some people talk in one monotone. It's called, it's a mixed bag. And I hated dealing with BT Trucking. I hated having to deal with the indoctrination. I hated it because I knew that was specifically geared towards me. I didn't ask for it. And so they were trying to enforce their religious views on me, and I'm not a part of that religion. I'm not a part of that religion. I'm an occultist, okay? But when it comes to things like work, I don't sit here and advertise my belief system. I don't need to. You know why? Because it's not even supposed to be a part of the equation. It's not supposed to be a part of the equation. You know what I mean? I'm here, if I'm hired to process payables, I'm there to process payables. If I'm there to, I don't know, be an administrative assistant, then that's what I'm doing. I'm administrating, I'm assisting the administration. Okay, my religious views don't have anything to do with it. And see, this is why, this is a political step. And I'm going to be upfront with you, Cancer 21, because we're still having this conversation. By the way, would you like another crumpet? Just kidding. Anyway, what I'm saying is like, when it comes to working in the office environment, people should be comfortable, and they should, the very foundations of a decent work environment is, number one, is an environment that you mesh with. Number two, you have to deal with the combination of the people. Now, people are always going to have petty issues. They're always going to. People will hate people for no reason. I can tell you that. Growing up, people hated me for no reason. They hated me because I was a person that was related to my father. Okay, and they hated my father because they were racist. So I deal with racism a lot. Okay, this is one of the reasons why the hair issue was blown up the way that it was. Okay, and the very fact that somebody would bring up the hair issue, this is why I'm saying, okay, hair issues, talking about my hair or whatever, that's racism. Okay, and when you do that sort of stuff, I made a point in my life that, I dealt with racism enough in the 90s. Okay. And I knew that it was something that I realized I needed to walk away from, and it's something I wanted nothing to do with. And I knew that if somebody even exhibited one slight amount of racism, they need to be cut out of my life. Done. We're done. Okay? Meaning like, no, we cannot be friends. Okay? I can work with you, but we don't ask me to go to lunch with you. We're not going on to lunch. I dare not sit at a lunch table with you. I will never sit and have a meal with anybody who does not fucking deal with me. Okay, there's times that you have to have lunch at work, and I'm going to tell you right now, I hate every fucking minute of it. Why? Because when you're dealing with being a target situation, you're being set up in environments where they know good and well that these people are your enemies, and they want you to have lunch with them. I don't eat in practice. I as a spiritual practice, I do not purposely eat food among my enemies. Okay, now, so I don't want to deal with that bullshit anymore. When it comes to lunchtime, I'm always by myself, and I prefer to be. I don't want to be around other people. And especially now, I'm telling you right now, I'm setting the standard. I'm telling it how it needs to be. Okay, I cannot be around a bunch of people. Okay, I cannot be around a bunch of people. Okay, and I do not want management, because, here's the thing when it comes to management positions. Okay, number one, I want to make a few comments about that. Okay, when I was at BT Trucking, I had an employee who was extremely rude. Okay, he was a Mexican man. Okay, he was a Mexican man. He looked like he was black. I forgot his name. Okay, and he was an asshole. He basically told me that black managers are not going to be accepted, and that Hispanic people are always going to be taking precedent over black people. I thought, okay, well, number one, I thought that was rude for him to say that, but I was very glad that he told me that, because he was basically just telling me that I was being set up in a fake job. Okay. Number one, why would anybody say that in the context of your employment? That statement should not come out of anybody's mouth when you're in the workplace, whether that be a subordinate, definitely shouldn't be coming out of manager's mouth, shouldn't be coming out of anybody's mouth. Okay? But we know that Jackie and Eddie were very irresponsible when it came to this sort of stuff. And I'm going to also say, Cancer 21, that you might have had some sort of hand in it. Perhaps you do not see the value of treating people equally, and because this program is somewhat loosely associated with you, okay, that you may have inadvertently perhaps carried on this sort of attitude, or let people think that it was okay to work this sort of stuff out in the workplace. I'm not going to let people disrespect me. Okay? I'm not going to let people disrespect me. I didn't really, I was listening to what he said, and I remember being cordial in the conversation. But see, when people say these sort of things in the workplace, everything about me is research. So I'm sitting here thinking about this, putting it in my memory bank and thinking, okay, I'm obviously being racially targeted, because why would you say something like this? Right? Why would you say something like this? See, what else do I want to say about this? So I'm not interested in management positions. When I was interested in management positions, I hated the fact that I was always being monitored, because it made me feel extremely like I'm always being watched. And see, it ruined my work experience. The whole targeting thing ruined my work experience. Okay? So I don't want to be into management. I want to be able to do my job, right? Do a job, finish my job at the end of the day, and I want to come home. That's it. You know what I mean? But I should feel productive, you know, and that's all I want to do. I want to be productive. I got to be productive. You know what I mean? And then I'm contributing, meaning like, you know, I need to be able to stand on my own 2 feet, and that's what a person should do. Okay, I believe in self-sufficiency. I'm a strong person. Okay, and I've always had to deal with stuff, and I'm going to tell you right now, I do not want to deal with. The reason why I'm making this video is because I wanted to say it because I want to make sure that I enjoy my last working years. I realize how old I am. I'm not going to sit here and live another like 30 fucking, not as long as I have anything to do with it. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to get to fucking 95. Hopefully not. Okay, but. And I really, you know, I need to play out my life. Meaning I'm not going to take out my life. I must have been so miserable in the insane asylum that I felt as though I needed to do that. Okay? I'm not taking my life. Okay? Terry Collins was trying to force me into suicide. Okay? I'm going to say this one more time. Anytime you become religious targeted, and they have a word for it, okay? It's the same as gang stalking, but the proper word for it is called cause stalking, okay? And the cause is to convert you to a religion and to continue to pester you, to continue to bully you, to continually not give up the fight that they created until you submit. And if you don't submit, well, then you're going to die, okay? This is why religion is not supposed to be a part of the workplace. This is why it's not supposed to be determined, because they feel like they can bully you to death. That means that Christians are genocidal. Okay? That was bad. And I already told you, back the fuck up. Okay? I don't want anything to do with anybody's religion. Okay? I'm a peaceful person. I am not going to sit here and stir up problems. I never came over here with any sort of racial agenda. Meaning, like, I need you to understand, I need white people to think, or I'm trying to fight for equality. I don't have those issues. Okay, I need to work, unfortunately. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and try to prove that I'm better than white people. I will say a lot of white people possibly believe that I am better than them. Okay, because this is one of the reasons why everybody hated my father. Okay, that's the bare bottom line. That's why. You know what I mean? I also get the feeling that when I was out in the workplace, you know, the reason why people were doing that to me is because every time I would come up with an idea or something, they would take my idea, they would discredit me, and the reason why they were doing it is because they needed to. They felt intimidated by what I had to do. Everything that I did, they felt extremely intimidated by. Extremely. Okay. And I was only trying to show that I was a dedicated employee. I was only trying to earn my keep. Okay? It is very difficult for minorities to be in the workforce. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's very difficult. Why? Because all you're trying to do is make sure that you prove to your employer that you are someone of value, which is something you're supposed to do. That's the part of your work ethic. If you can't do that, then you shouldn't be working a job. Okay? That's a part of my work ethic, naturally. Okay? So it's not like, you know, and that should be a part of everyone's work. That's a no-brainer. Okay? That's how I used to be. Okay? And I dealt with so much harassment that, you know, it just got to be too much. Okay? I don't need that in my workforce. In my workplace. And no one else needs that in their workplace. Why should somebody have to go to work in that sort of environment? And then you know what's so sick about this whole issue? When you finally, after dealing with this day after day, month after month, year after year, you come in and your attitude's you're not feeling happy. You hate coming in, right? And I remember Karen Johnson one time, she comes in, she looks at me, she said, smile, telling me to smile. See, this is the problem with a lot of racist white people, okay? They think that they can abuse you, do all kinds of horrible things to you, and then they want you to smile when they tell you to. As if, oh, I'm okay with this. I love your abuse. You know? No, it doesn't work that way. There's a lot of dehumanization that goes on with white people. White people dehumanize other people. This is just the way it is. And I'm not trying to say all white people, but in my situation, it is what it is. Okay? And the very fact that so many white people participated in this, I don't even know what to tell you. Okay? But I've dealt with bullshit. A lot of bullshit that I should not have dealt with. Where employers should have been on their game. It is not about me trying to, I'm not trying to one-up white people. I am simply trying to pay my goddamn bills. That's it. End of discussion. You know what I mean? And white people themselves make this a racial issue. And now it looks like it boomeranged and backfired. Because what's going on over the UK with these stupid celebrities that thought it was okay to try to fuck my shit up, you know, there's some backlash going on. You know what I mean? Oh, it's terrible. But I'm trying to be civil and I'm trying to be level-headed. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. And I'm sad and angry that for the last 2 years of my life that the Collins had anything to do with my life. Anything to do with my life. You know what I mean? At this point, I am 53 years old. I do not have time for anyone's bullshit. At all. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to sit here and change my hairstyle because of some racist bitch. And I mean, I'm so fucking beyond offended by this person. This person, to me, Terry Collins, whether she's alive or she's dead, and I'm hoping she's dead. I'm going to be honest. I'm hoping she's dead. Okay? And why? Because you took years off of my life. That's why. You took years off of my life. Okay? And you felt entitled of it. I knew that Terry Collins was a racist, like I said, when I was dating Bruce, okay? And at the time, because you're confused, you're like, oh, well, you know, because I didn't want to leave the relationship at first, but, you know, you think it's going to be okay, whatever. And then it's like, one day I was like, you know what? This is not going to work. Especially when I was pregnant, I was like, this is not going to work. I don't want my son growing up confused. I do not want him to have these sort of problems. This is not healthy for him. He does not need to see this at all. I don't want to have any sort of relationship with these people. You know? I don't want a relationship with these people. So, it made sense. And plus, they never showed any interest. I remember Terry coming over when Houston was really little. And then Jennifer started acting like she didn't want to have anything to do with me. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. I need to get on with my life anyway. So I stopped talking. We're done. We're done. So then all of a sudden, you know, they come into the scene. They had no right to. They had no right to. No. And the sad part is, it's like people thought that it was okay. It's not okay. So anyway, what else do I want to say before I wrap this video up? By me having my own personal views and my own lifestyle, I'm tired of people trying to associate that with a rebellion. I'm not being rebellious. You know what I mean? Maybe people don't like the fact that I'm an occultist, but I still have the right to do that. And I'm not somebody who's trying to, like, you know, force other people to be in my religion. But I do want to be around people who relate. I mean, it makes sense, right? I don't know. I'm sorry that I'm just so angry that these people had anything to do with my life. It's you know, life is too short to have people doing that stuff to you. I do get the feeling, and I had this message like for a while, that lawmakers and politicians are bringing, we're talking about bringing a new earth, meaning like you know, putting these laws into practice is basically what I'm saying. They should be put into practice. And I'm hoping that that's the case. You know what I mean? The laws are written very well. Like I said, it's just the fact that people are either unaware of them or they're not being enforced. You know what I mean? And they really should be. They should be enforced, because to go and deviate from that it causes so many problems. I can't even tell you. So good luck with that. Anyway, I do get the feeling that there's a lot of people who are very apologetic. There's a lot of talk about religious freedoms right now. And I think that's one of the issues that's going over in the UK. I know that the issues were racial, but a lot of times, racial issues are covered up by religious issues. Like, I know people use a religious issue against me. Mind you, this is one way that they can get full participation. To make it a race issue is one thing, because you're going to get a lot of white people to go against you. But then if you make it a religious issue, then you can get black people and everyone else against you too. This is one of the reasons why it's so dangerous. It's dangerous, okay? I don't know. I hope things get straightened out in the UK, okay? And I also hope that, obviously, I hope that things get straightened out in my life too, because I need to get it straightened out quickly. I know right now people are having a hard time looking for work, and I'm just trying to really get into the heart of my work search. It's very stressful when you're trying to find your job and you're trying to, finish out the rest of my life without these people. It's very difficult. Okay, I do know that the church cloning scandal is a big topic right now. Okay, and I'm sorry that I even had to bring it up. But it got to the point, you got to understand what I'm talking about, County 21, is that, these sort of covert programs are always going to have some sort of negative kickback. And I know that I've been a victim of this for a very long time, and I don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. Okay? I don't. And I hope that no one else has to either. You know what I mean? But I can't control the world. I can't, I can only do so much. But this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. All because of people violating workplace laws. All because of people thinking that it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Okay? We got people, numerous targeted individuals, who are suffering because of these sort of workplace violations, trying to escape from their abusers, because that's exactly what it is. Okay, I don't know why Terry Collins, maybe it's because she's ignorant. She thought that I was married to Bruce because I was having his kid. No, that is not the legal definition of marriage. Okay, and if it was, and then Bruce would be an adulterer, because what happened was that, but we'd both be adulterers, because if I was just having somebody's kid made us married, then we both got committed adultery, because Bruce ended up marrying Sarah, and I eventually ended up marrying Joel. Okay, and then I ended up getting divorced from that. So that makes no sense. Marriage is only recognized if you have a license. Okay, I don't have a marriage license with Bruce. Okay, we're not married. Okay, technically, some people look at this and as a big deal. Okay, like some people say, oh, well, you had a child out of wedlock, therefore your child's illegitimate. To me, every child that's born, exists, and breathes is legitimate. Okay, now, no, he is not. I was not married when I had my son. Okay, and I had the opportunity to get married. Okay, but I said no. Okay, sometimes people get married because they want to give it a go, because they want to make it seem like it's the right thing to do. They feel like it's the right thing to do. Not all the time. Not all the time. Okay, you got to take things into consideration. You got to think about the overall situation. Okay, and I had a child. I not only did I have a child out of wedlock, I had a child who was biracial. Okay, who I did not want to be confused. I did not want this kid to be confused. Okay, I wanted him to understand who he was, what he was, and his life. Meaning, like, I didn't want him thinking that it was okay to sit here and have some sort of crazy thoughts in his head to where, he was going to use his whiteness to hurt other people or whatever. I just wanted my son to be a balanced person and somebody who appreciated life for what it was. I didn't want him to fucking get involved in the nightmare drama of racism. And unfortunately, his stupid family, what I'm calling about, the Collins family, has created problems that they should have never they shouldn't have had anything to do with. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. Counts for 21. I think you get the drift of who I'm talking to. I think you do. I know the code words are kind of silly, but at least I'm trying to make an effort. There's no other way I can send you a message. I dare not email you through things like Instagram and stuff like that because I learned my lesson. Some of these people, you never know who you're talking to. You know what I mean? So I know you watch my videos. I know you do. So wrapping up this video. See ya.